Hi guys, so we're at the end of day 5 of the builder works. As you can see behind me, we've now had to move the big granite stone that was a bit too low. We wanted to raise it so we can get a full-size door in. It's extremely heavy. We were looking at trying to do it manually, but it was just too heavy. Then we built the scaffolding frame that you can see behind me, and then we lowered the granite stone on top. So the granite stone now is in place. So next week when the builders come again, they'll build around the granite stone and fix it in place. So that doorway's on its way. As you can see, the window has nearly been finished. They've got the beams in place above the window. The window frame's in, it just needs fixing. But we're waiting for the cement or the concrete around the frame to dry. If I swivel around a little bit more, you'll see the doorway going into our house. So again, they've pretty much created the hallway. But there was another wall going into our house, a red brick wall there that they obviously built in addition to the thick wall. So we've left that there really for an element of security. And then right at the last minute, we'll then cut that wall in as well. But as you can see, that wall's quite a big, thick wall, and it's taken quite a chunk to get through. And they've also, if I swivel around a little bit more, the window that they've put in earlier this week, they've now put the cement in their frame. So I'm looking forward to them taking that down next week so that I can see the sort of detail that they've put there. So there we are. Been a busy day this week. We've had 5 guys here today, but I think we've got a lot done, and I'm looking forward to them progressing with the work. So I've had to make a trip to the sawmill because one of the doors, or the main door going into the house, the thickness of that wall is a lot thicker than we expected. So we're going to have to use 4 beams rather than 3, which is what I originally bought. Which means we're 1 beam short. So I've had to go to the sawmill, which is a fantastic place. I love going there. I love seeing lots of natural wood. I love the machinery. It's great. I've got to stop myself from buying loads of wood because I would just buy loads of wood and just keep it in my house. But I'm not allowed to do that. I don't have the money to do that or the space. So I just have to buy what I need. So today I'm buying a beam that's 13 centimeters by 13 centimeters by 2 meters, and that's going to fit in between on one of the windows in the middle, so you'll only see one side of it. And for that piece of aged oak wood cost me €17, which is an absolute bargain. €17 for oak that's been aged for several years is fantastic. €17, loving that. So now I've got to get this oak beam back home so the builders can fit it in for the window. So I'm going to start building my wall for the pump today. I'm going to be using some of the cement that the builders are using, which saves me having to mix some of my own. So let's get going. As you can see, I've already put the foundations in. I did that a couple of days ago, so that's all solid. And I've got all my bricks cut and ready, and they're all laid out, ready to be laid as I go. So hopefully it shouldn't take me too long because everything's there ready to go. So you might be wondering why I'm leaving a gap here. Well, the reason is because I need a hole in order for my hoses to come out of the pump station to go to the swimming pool. So there we are, it's all finished. As you can see, it's looking good. We've got the hole there for the hoses. I've tried to infill the bits in the middle here as well, just to make it look a little bit neater. But I'm really happy with that, so it looks really good. Just gonna let this dry, and then what I'm gonna do is, obviously I've got a roof part here, so I need to just make sure there's a sloping back away from, so if I stand up, so I'm going to have it sloping back into the decking, because actually I've got drainage behind the wall, so any water that goes down there will be then drained away from the pool. Here I am back at the sawmill getting another beam. I think we're going to support our roof a little bit extra, so I've bought this big beam, 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters by 2 meters 70. As you can see, it's going to have to stick out my car slightly. €60, can't be bad. Pretty chuffed with that. This is an old aged oak beam. Try saying that. An old aged oak beam. So I'm happy with that, and let's get it home. Here we are at the end of the day. So as you can see, they've started nearly finishing the walkway through into our house. And obviously they've built a little bit of the wall at the front here. They've also opened up one of the windows there, raised the door, and we've got the other window in place now. So we're starting to get there, you can start to see what it's going to look like, which is great. A couple more days and hopefully get all the windows finished. So here I am in our barn, and next to me I've got two steel plates that I've had to get cut to shape with pre-hole drills. Now, we had to buy these because if you might remember from last week, I mentioned that one of our main supporting beams was starting to crack through the beam rather than along the beam, which is obviously a little bit worrying. So what we needed to do is find a fix. Now, one of the options was to buy another large piece of wood, so another beam, and put it on top and screw the two together. Or the other option was to try and get these steel plates made up and have one on the top, one on the bottom, and sandwich the beam together and bolt it through. We looked at the two options, and although the wood was slightly cheaper, it also meant that we couldn't install it ourselves, and the only other people that could install it for us, there was a good month to 2 months wait for them to do it. So the steel was slightly more expensive, but it means that hopefully we should be able to install it ourselves. So I've got the steel here. My next job is to paint it black. We've got some matte black paint, so I'm going to paint it black, and hopefully then we'll try and get it up and install it. I'm going to have to drill some holes, and I've got the bolts. So next week, hopefully, I'll be painting these and installing them, and hopefully the builders should be finishing all of their openings. So it's exciting times. I'm looking forward to it. The kitchen is now starting to look a little bit more like a kitchen. Please click the subscribe button, and don't forget to click the bell as well so you get notified of next week's video. And I look forward to seeing you then and showing you the progression of where we're getting to. See you soon. Cheers, guys. Bye.